The 932nd edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds. When you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Heidi Ho DeGenerinos, welcome to episode 932 of the MMA Gambling Podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Judge Fabio Alves, who did his best to try to allow me to beat Gumby. He actually risked his job probably.
It was a really bad scorecard too.
I submitted a 29-28 Montel Jackson scorecard last night.
Do you want to know what the most egregious part of that is? Let me hit you with a little knowledge about the egregious part of that.
Yeah.
So I heard that scorecard. I heard split decision. I'm like, there's no way Davison's getting screwed in Brazil, right? Like if somebody's getting screwed, it's getting screwed the other way, right? Like no way Davison, legend of the sport, Brazilian, getting screwed in Brazil. Do you know what other round he gave Montel other than the third?
Round one, Gumby.
He gave him round one, which to me was the least likely to be the round that he won. You know, like the second there was a little bit lower output, I could see him possibly having stolen. Like it's still a bad scorecard, but like I could see him. Yeah. There's no way he won one. After one, I was like, sick. We've got this in the bag.
Yeah, that was not a good fight at all. He actually outstruck Figueiredo. That's crazy.
I told you when I said I was taking Davison Figueiredo, what did you say? You said, what is his path to victory? I said he's a better grappler. He's a much better grappler than Montel Jackson. Reminded people that he took Piotr Jan's back, took that Chito Vera, like the guy's still got it. He's still good.
That's enough of UFC. Gumby beat me. We both did okay, but Gumby
what did we have his price locked in at too, real quick before I had locked in?
I think. Yeah, 250.
It's 275. 275 at close.
yeah. Gumby made money. I did not. So that's betting $100 in every fight blind. So that's okay. We're not talking about UFC today. Who am I? I'm the Spicy Pimp Jeff Fox. That is Daniel Gumby Vreeland. We're going to talk Oktagon. No, well, technically there is Contender Series still. We've already done the episode though. Contender Series ends on Tuesday. So this week is all about back to the regional scene for 3 episodes, starting with one of our favorite promotions today, Oktagon 78. So that's what we are going to cover for this here episode. Before we dive into it, I think I have to remind you about something. Probably I'm going to have to remind you about our apps, right? Get to the App Store. Grab the SGPN app wherever you get your apps. Also, because it's free and you get all their picks and all the good stuff on there. So SGPN in the App Store. Also, the NHL is back, and so is the Hockey Gambling Podcast. Join Ryan and Joel as they break down the biggest games, storylines, awards, and best bets throughout the season. Let it slide. And Joel always has crazy stories. His most recent crazy story is he fell into a fire and burned himself super bad, ended up in the hospital. That's his new crazy story. He tried to sleep it off. And then when he woke up in the morning, he sobered up. Sobered up. He realized he had like insane burn. So anyhow, that's what you get when you listen to the Hockey Gambling Podcast. All right, Oktagon 78, Gumby. Thoughts on Oktagon 78? They're back to Germany. They're home away from home, basically.
Fun title fight, which I like on there. That's always a good thing. One of my favorites to watch in Deniz Ilbay on the card. Some weird heavyweight crap, which I always appreciate. Like, if you're gonna give me like a not a blow me out of the water Oktagon card, right? Because there's like some one-sided fights on this one. You might as well give me like a sloppy ass heavyweight fight. And they did that. So a lot of good stuff on this one.
And you're skipping the demented Brock Lesnar fight in here. Is that one too much?
Oh, you're talking about Volksgrün. I mean, they just keep feeding him guys who can't grapple. And I was like, when you asked me for the 5 fights, I'm like, well, I could throw the Volksgrün fight on there. People like watching him, but like, what is he like, negative 3,800 or something like that?
1408. 1408
which actually is the same as we're going to see Alina Dalaslan on there. True. Yeah, there's a couple of one-sided ones. So it is what it is.
Oktagon 78, Eckerlin versus Trušček. Cologne, Germany is the place to be on the 18th. So it'll be this coming Saturday, noon Eastern start time. Lennox Arena in Cologne, Germany, which is I looked at pretty big arena, 20,000 capacity arena. So Oktagon always packs them in, and this card is packed with German fighters. So it will surely bring in the local fans here. We're starting off with a title fight, which is a strange way for the card to start, but it's not. The card isn't starting, but we're starting with that. It's the
last fight on the prelims, if I'm not.
Yeah,
that's right. What we would call the prelims. Then there's going to be a little intermission. They'll probably bring in a rapper who I've never heard of because he's like German. Yeah. Every time they do that, I'm like,
am I supposed to
yeah, I feel like internationally he's probably relevant, but in my life he's not.
Yeah, always when I look up people I've never heard of, they always have like 30 million listeners on monthly listeners on Spotify. I'm like, oh, okay, they actually are a thing. But Igor Severino is a thing. He is the fighting for the Octagon vacant bantamweight championship. He's vacant because
is that Felipe Lima relinquished it?
I guess it would have been.
And I think before him was Gustavo Lopez, who is also a UFC guy. Yep. Both of those guys had it and then relinquished it to go elsewhere.
Yes, we have a Brazilian Igor Severino against the German Khurshed Kakhorov. 5-minute rounds, 135. This is the only fight I don't have odds for. Did you see odds for it anywhere, Gumby?
Yeah, I did. You just didn't look it up right because it doesn't say Igor Severino on the site we use. It says Igor De Silva.
All right, let me get it.
I can just tell you what it is if you
want. You can tell me and make it even easier, Gumby. Go ahead. I'll do Kakhorov first, and then you tell me the odds. Killer Khurshed Kakhorov. We won't say what those initials are, but that's what his nickname is. 13-1 with 9 knockouts. He's been knocked out 1 time. This is his debut in Octagon. He's won 5 straight, 2 straight via TKO. He's not fought since June of 2024. He last lost a fight February 2022. He went PFL. He went 4-0 in PFL, European champion. So he has some pretty good credentials here. He's a regional champ as well. 1-0 as a boxer, an inch taller than Severino, and he's at
I got minus 138 for Kakhorov.
Minus 138. Got it. All right, Severino, the cannibal, more like, right? 9-1, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions, never been finished in a fight. 1-0 in Octagon. He won his last bout. He went 0-1 in the UFC because he bit his opponent. 1-0 contender series, regional champ. He's fight at 125. 10 years younger than Kakhorov, 2 inches of reach, and he's at plus
105.
All right. There you go. Gumby, break her down.
I'm going to take Igor Severino. I'm going to take dog right out of the gate in a title fight. First of all, not a ton of dog spots on this card that I like anyway, but also, I was watching Kakhorov and, look, he's got some really big wins on his record, right? Ali Talib. Was he the one who beat Franz Malambo too, if I'm remembering correctly?
Yes, he did.
Yep. Yeah. And so like, those are really good wins, but if you watch him too, like there's a couple of things real apparent about him. And the first one is that he is insanely heavy on his front foot. He is, he's sitting down on everything, but it's like almost like he's like leaning onto his front foot. And there's like nothing on his back foot. And it really zaps a lot of the power out of his striking. Now he's still able to put together combinations and touch you and stuff like that. But like, I just don't really like the look in terms of like generating power, and it leads himself really open to leg kicks, which is a thing that Severino has used before in the past. A little bit less in the Jonas Magard fight that he's coming off of, but like his leg kicks are really sharp too. The other thing is like Kakhorov does go to a takedown. It's not a bad grappling game, but like the bottom line for me is just like he doesn't have enough top control that makes me really believe he could put that together over an extended period of time. And like, not for anything, Severino is a pretty damn good scrambler and wrestler. Like Jonas Magard had his moments in that fight that he had him in, but like even with the little bit of control time, he never really settled in, was never able to do damage. And as a result, the hands of Severino are what won every round. So, I like the fact that Severino will probably rip the legs. It will probably slow down the takedown attempts from Kakhorov later in the fight. I like Severino's cardio. And I know we joke all the time about that fight where he bit that guy. Was it Andre Lima he bit?
Yep.
Andre Lima?
Yep.
Yeah, I know we like joke about that fight all the time, but like he bit him right when he was about to take over the fight. I was on Andre Lima in that fight and I was like, oh no, this is falling away from us. I know he won the first round, but this seems like Severino's grappling and Severino's control is going to start working. And then he took a bit out of his tricep and all of a sudden we're in business. And so like, his cardio holds up. Like he works well and he works at a really great pace. And I think all of that kind of stuff plays well against Kakhorov here. So I'm going to take Igor Severino.
All right. And new champion for Severino. All right. We are going to a featherweight belt. I assume this was just recently added because it hasn't been added to Topology yet. We've got a German, Deniz Ilbay, versus a Swiss fighter, Theo Smith. They're fighting at featherweight. Let's break it down. We'll tell you about, after I get to the right part of my spreadsheet, we'll tell you about Smith first. He is
also just real quick. Anybody out there trying to find film on Theo Smith and like pulling your hair out because you're looking to verify one of my picks or something like that, like Theo Saldana is going to help you more than Theo Smith.
Oh, really? Okay, right.
Yeah, I tried to find Theo Smith film for like hours, and then eventually I found Theo Saldana film, which is his first of his two last names or whatever.
Right.
And it's just, yeah. I eventually found it and was really irritated that I wasted a bunch of time. So
like
for
he's
you guys,
Brazilian or something. He's not Brazilian.
I wasted the time so you guys don't have to.
There you go. His nickname's Sangre, which translates to blood in Spanish. I assume that's why that's his nickname. He's 4-1, 3 knockouts, 1 submission. So he's finished everyone. He himself has never been finished. He also has rounds nonetheless. This is his debut in Oktagon. TKO win in his last bout. 3 inches taller than Ilbay, plus 300. El Pistolero, which was my nickname for a while there. El Pistolero, Ilbay is 8-2, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted twice. You always rounds too, sir. 4-2 in Oktagon. He's been 3-4, but he got submitted in his last bout. He went 22-3 as a pro boxer. He's at minus 450.
Yeah, so I get why the numbers are where they're at. I'll take Ilbay. He's a really good boxer. You know, he actually comes from a boxing background, and you know, he's slick with his combinations, in and out of range. He likes to slip a jab and throw some real big stuff up top. But like more importantly than that, like he has really tried to develop himself as a full mixed martial artist, and as a result, actually has like a pretty good wrestling game. Obviously, it didn't play up against Max Holzer. Max Holzer's a beast, and you know, probably on his way to a title fight at some time in the near future. But like, you know, in the past, if you watch a lot of his fights, like he gets going with the wrestling as well. And I like the entries. I like the times he decides to do it, and really his like aggression in terms of his boxing and his pressure in terms of his boxing opens a lot of it up for him, which is you know, like a really nice compliment. And then Theo Smith, on the other hand, you know, I found eventually, like I said, found some film on him, you know, real janky with his stand-up stuff. You know, kind of seems like he's trying to create weird angles and doesn't do so much. Loves a lead uppercut. Like, will throw a lead uppercut 7 times in a row. And I think, again, somebody who's a polished boxer like Ilbay, I mean, like, obviously you're getting countered on that. Like, you can't just keep throwing the same thing and think you're not going to get hit on the other way. And then the other thing I like about this too is that, like, I've seen Theo Smith try to defend a takedown. I don't think he can, not particularly well, and not at this level. So I think even if Ilbay really doesn't like what he's seeing on the feet, or if, again, he's trying to, like, you know, round out his game as he seems to have been for the last, you know, 3 or 4 fights, I think he's going to find that moment and hit a takedown and have a lot of success on top. So Deniz Ilbay here, you said negative 450. You know, like that's, you know, it's a pretty big line, but I think that's right around where it should be. So if you wanted to try to, you know, snazzy up one of your parlays, he could definitely help out with that.
All right. You are set for the first 2 plays here. Before we get you to more, let me tell you about mybookie.ag. We are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie's your place to bet on football and everything else. Their prop builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. They have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. They will have Oktagon lines up if they don't have them up by the time you hear this. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN for 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. So that's mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. And we're also brought to you by NoVig. It's NOVIG, all one word. NoVig is America's #1 sports prediction market. NoVig, you're getting the best prices. Plus, they got reduced juice on bets. Like you could have got the Eagles minus 7.5 for minus 103. Hopefully, you didn't take that bet.
Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, but that's just an example of the low juice or low vig you're going to get and stuff. NoVig is available in 35 plus states. Download NoVig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with NoVig, promo code SGPN. Gumby's always willing to laugh up a Eagles loss. We won't talk about.
Well, you know, maybe one of the quote unquote experts on SGPN had the Eagles not covering there. Might have even given it out on an episode last week where I told you that they do not,
you did
not cover the spread right after a loss ever.
Yep.
And they lost outright.
Yes, they sure did. All right, we are going to big boys now. Is this the fun heavyweight fight?
Yeah, this is dumb as hell.
That's what we're all about. We're all about dumb heavyweight fights. We had a couple of them last night in the UFC. Kasim Aras from Turkey, Simon Biyong from Italy. They're fighting at heavyweight, as I said, 3 5-minute rounds if they need it. Tell you about Biyong first. Hemley is the nickname, Hemle. I'm not sure what that is. Someone
Fighting spirit.
Oh, is that what it stands for?
It means fighting spirit. It's a Basa word. Basa, okay. I want to say.
Okay. He's 11-5 with 8 knockouts. He's been submitted twice. This is his Oktagon debut. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 3 straight. He went 2-2 in Bellator, RIP. 0-2 in PFL. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get all our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. He used to fight down at light heavyweight. He's 4 years younger than Aras. 7 inches taller, 10-inch reach advantage, minus 118. Kids, Aras is a bowling ball. 10, he's like 5'10", I think. He's 10-5 as well, Aras. 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 1-0 in Octagon. He's won 2 straight and 3 of 5. TKO win in his last bout. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
I'm gonna be saying that a lot recently. Correct. Get all our shirts, all our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. He went 0-2 in Bellator, RIP. 2013 Pro MMA debut, 12 pounds heavier than Biyong based off of their last fight. So he's at minus 18 as well. So we have got a pick-up, minus 1.
Yeah, and Biyong is normally not a heavyweight. Like, he has fought a ton down at light heavyweight. In fact, most of his PFL run was there, if not all of it, right? Because he lost to Antonio Carlos Jr. and Yagshimuradov. And so, like, he lost to guys like that. I'm going to take Aras. I went back and forth on this one because this is going to be, like I said, it's going to be weird. You on one hand, you got a guy who, like you said, is a bowling ball. He's 5'10", no reach to speak of. Certainly not going to dazzle you with the hands. And then on the other hand, you got a guy who's much taller, much longer, much more nimble, and fought at 205 in Biyong. But I think what it comes down to me is that if you watch Aras, he has looked pretty good in terms of being in the clinch and trying to be a bully. I went back and I watched his Levels fight. He fought in Levels Fight League, I think for their belt, against Moreno Casapor, who's now the Aries champion. He was the LFL champion, but now he's an Aries champion. But when he fought Casapor, look, he leads with his head. It's clear he wants to get into the clinch, and he's there to be jabbed right in the face on the way in. But once he's in, he had really good control against Moreno Casapor, who is a guy who, if you don't already know, he's kind of a bigger guy, and he himself does a really good job of being a bully in the clinch. So Aras kind of beat him at his own game, which is, obviously tells you that he's got this level to what he's doing that's so good that he can do it against guys who also want to do it. Biyong, on the other hand, wants no part of that clinch game. He wants to shoot big jabs and straights from distance so that you're not close to him. But it hasn't really worked for him against guys who have the skill to close the distance, right? If you watch that, I mentioned he lost to Yagshimuradov. It's once Yagshimuradov was on the inside, he pinned him against the cage. He wasn't getting out. And that's when he was at 205. That's when he wasn't dealing with guys who outweigh him and who are much heavier than him. And in this case, especially, have an exceptionally lower center of gravity than him. Aras is bowling ball-ness here. As long as he doesn't get picked apart from range too much before he gets in on that clinch, I think that control is just going to be way too much for Simon Biyong. So I'm going to go with Kasim Aras in with the caveat that I'm glad this is a pick-em basically, because this is going to be so stupid. It's going to look one way or the other. It's going to look wicked one-sided and kind of ugly.
Perfect. Just what we want from our sloppy heavyweight fights. So the fans will, the fans will be happy with the winner of this next fight, regardless, because it's German versus German. It is at women's bantamweight.
They won't be happy either way.
Alina Dalaslan.
They want somebody particularly to win in this one.
Yeah, I wonder who. Alina Dalaslan, Katharina, Lehner, 3 5-minute rounds, 135. We'll tell you about Lehner first. The German Gypsy is 9-7 with 1 knockout. She's been knocked out once, submitted 4 times. This is her Octagon debut. She's fought everywhere, but basically, she's lost 2 straight. She's won 2 of 6. Both of her past 2 losses will come via submission. She went 2-4 in Invicta, 0-1 in Bellator RIP, 0-1 in the Ultimate Fighter. Multiple region championships on her.
Mantle.
Correct. Get all our merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. She used to fight up at featherweight, 2014 pro MMA debut. 1-1 in slap fighting, 1-2 in pro boxing, 0-1 in bare knuckle boxing, plus 600 because she's fighting Iron Fist. Iron Fist is 3-0 with 3 knockouts. All those fights taking place in Octagon. She has his rounds. 10 years younger than Lerner, 2-inch reach advantage. Minus 1408. Ouch.
Look, I'm not paying 1408 for Dalaslan.
No.
You know, and I in her last fight, I actually picked against her. I took Kerry Vergiano, who stunned her on the feet before eating a spinning back fist. And like you could tell as that fight went on, Dalaslan was having more and more success and was kind of like taking over it. But it like just goes to show you, she was fighting Kerry Vergiano, who I think is like 3-3, or she was like 4-2 or something like that. And like Dalaslan is not the fighter that Octagon or the fans around Octagon want you to believe she is yet. Like, I know everybody thinks she's like this untouchable, such a good boxer, you know, like she's going to run through everybody. They just keep giving her the right opponents. Like, and Vergiano pushed her to the limit. Like, Vergiano, like, made her work for what she got before hitting her with the spinning back fist. And so, like, Lehner is the right kind of step up in competition. She's 9-7. She's fought everywhere. She's tough as nails. But she's just like a little too slow and probably doesn't have the gas tank to put up with like the cardio that Dalaslan is going to put on her. So like, I'm going to pick Dalaslan to win. I think you're an absolute mark if you pick her in terms of, you know, like you're putting her in a parlay to squeeze out another 12 cents out of whatever you're getting. Like, and if you are a Katharina Lehner fan or you've watched her before, like I have no problem saying like, hey, 6-1, maybe. You know, like maybe she could pull it off, and it'll probably trend up too. I think when we talked about Vergiano, she was like plus 400. I think she was 750 by fight time. So like, just wait out Katharina Lehner. People are going to stick to Dalaslan in their parlays, and it's going to mess up her number. If you want to take a stab on her at 8-1, I couldn't blame you. I'm personally not on this one, but I'm going to take Dalaslan. But like, I see that you could find some value there.
Gummy's challenging you all to throw it in your parlay. He challenged you. See that? He told you your marks if you do it. So
don't do it.
He's challenged you. All right. Before we get to the main event of the evening, let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog's a great place to play fantasy pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' stats. It's available for a ton of sports. Gumby probably has a sport right now for you to give you a play on.
Sure, let's go Monday Night Football. We got the Commanders versus the Bears. We'll take Jacory Krosky-Merritt. We'll take the higher than on his rushing yards. Right now listed at 69.5. I think he cracked 70 against those Bears. That Bears defense let the Cowboys run on him. So, you know, you got to imagine that Krosky-Merritt's going to get a couple.
And the trend of Gumby coming up with fake athlete names for the Underdog play continues.
You don't believe Jacory Krosky-Merritt?
No, fake. Here's something that's not fake. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5. You get $100 of bonus funds when you sign up with our code, only our code, MMA SGPN. And Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm is crushing it in college football and NFL with picks and props. They went 8-2 on passing prop overs in week 5 and 5-0 and Dylan Gabriel debut props. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you can win $1,000. Gumby, do you have a play? Monday Night Football or otherwise?
Yeah, we'll take Monday Night Football. Bills and the Falcons. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they're on the road, but the Bills only 3.5-point favorites. I believe here in the Bills, so I think they're going to cover that 3.5. Give me the Bills, laying the points.
All right. See if Rhythm agrees with you can sign up with our promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm. It's RITHMM, and promo code SGPN25. And to our main event, better than title fight or anything else, because it has the King of Germany is one half of this. It's not a King of Germany bout, though. It is got Christian Eckerlin. He is from Germany. Ivica Trušček. He is from Croatia. They are fighting in 3 5-minute rounds at 170 pounds. That would be welterweight. Trušček, terror Trušček. 30. Listen, this resume is going to take a while. 44 and 39 is his record. So he's fought, that's 83 times. 24 knockouts, 17 submissions. He's been knocked out 8 times, submitted 16 times. He's still durable, despite being finished 24 times. 1-1 in Oktagon. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. He's won 3 of his last 7. His past 2 wins have come via submission. He's not fought since March of 2024. He went 0-1 in KSW. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. He's fought at 155 and 185, 2007 pro MMA debut. 1-0 in bare knuckle boxing. He's a year younger than Eckerlin, plus 370. Eckerlin, 17-7 with 1 no contest, 6 knockouts, 8 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted twice. 4-2 with 1 no contest in Oktagon. He is the king of Germany. He won that belt in Oktagon. Now, is that I don't think we ever determined
whether
it's
a BMF thing. I think it's a BMF thing. I think. Yeah.
So he only defends it when he fights fellow Germans. Is that?
I think he doesn't ever defend it
because he's in Germany.
I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter. It's a prop. Loss, win-loss over his last 4. 10-2 and 1 no contest over his last 13. That would be TKO loss in his last bout. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. He went 1-0 in KSW. He used to fight at 185. 2009 pro MMA debut. 4 inches taller and 4-inch reach advantage over Trušček. Minus 549.
Yeah, I don't love the 549 yet again.
No.
Like of the 3 giant odds we gave you, Ilbay is probably the only one I want to like mess with in terms of parlays and stuff like that. But I am going to pick Eckerlin here. I got some film on Trušček because I was not super familiar with him, despite the fact that he's fought damn near 100 times. But a lot of the film I see on him, he just he loads his right hand right next to his face and just basically tries to goad you into throwing something so he can counter. And okay, I mean, it's got him where he is. 80 fights in and basically a 500 record. But
yeah,
it seems like as he's aged, that counter is, or it's not even aged, right? Because he's the same age as Eckerlin. But as he's wore down, I think the big thing for me is just that he's not as fast with that counter anymore. It seems like he's a touch slower, and all of his recent wins are, bad dudes shot stupid double legs on him and he hit a guillotine on him. Eckerlin's not going to shoot a double here. Eckerlin's not going to get on his legs. And Eckerlin does a really good job of it's not a swarm, but I guess that's the closest thing I could do to describe it. He gets on you and pressures you and doesn't let you off the hook, even if he's just pitter pattering you. And he's looking for that moment where he can do more than pitter patter you. But in the meantime, he has you on the run constantly. So for a guy who kind of likes to, hold one hand up and just size up his big shot, Eckerlin's probably a terrible person to fight. Because you can't size up that one shot. You constantly have to be ready for what he's throwing, and it's probably something different than you are ready for. So I'm going to take Eckerlin. I think he's sharper, faster, is going to have the pressure, and kind of just has a bad style matchup for Trušček here.
All right, let's recap, but don't you go away. We got lightning round. He's got Eckerlin. He's got Dalaslan, and he says throw in a parlay. He's got
no, don't do that.
Oh, I got that switched around somehow. Aras, Ilbay, Severino are the plays. Gumby, lightning round. We have a few more fights you can choose from here.
Yeah, so first of all, I went all the way up and down the card looking for my lightning round picks before I saw the odds. And the first one I wrote down was Tamerlan Dulatov, was supposed to fight last month. His fight got pulled at the last second. And I was like, cool, I'll take Tamerlan Dulatov. And then I threw up the odds, and that one's negative 2,500 right now. So again, I like Tamerlan Dulatov, shout him out. But at the same time, yeah, maybe not that guy. I'm going to take Merrick Bartle. Merrick Bartle's always a fun time to watch. That dude is one of those absolute, juggernaut looking dudes in the Oktagon loves to sign. He's always in a fun fight. His grappling has looked decent lately. So Merrick Bartle is negative 163. And then I'm going to take a fighter who you can't even find on the odds yet. They haven't posted any odds yet for Deniz. Deniz, you might remember from his brief moment in the UFC. He was 0-2 in the UFC. I don't know if you remember this fight. I remember it I was watching it yesterday, but he's the guy who was beating the crap out of Stefan Struve and had him all bloody when Stefan Struve got the rear naked choke late was like covered in blood during the end of the fight. So like, he's always kind of been a fun heavyweight with like some pretty good grounded pound. He ran into some tough guys. Now he's getting Patrick Vespasiani, who I'm just like not yet sold on. It seems like, again, he's like one of the guys that Oktagon is like, oh, he's close to being a guy at the top of the division. He's almost the guy we need to fight a Will Fleury or something like that. And they're bringing in Trušček to fight him. And I think Trušček just might still be too much for him at this point. So I'll be interested to see if we can get some good dog money on him. So he's one play. And then again, I mentioned Merrick Bartle, and hey, for fun, Tamerlan Dulatov.
All right. You are set for Oktagon 78. We're going to be back tomorrow with PFL Africa. And then the next day, KSW, and then UFC, and we shall wash and repeat next week. In the meantime, we're always in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Always checking the comments on YouTube. That would be MMA Gambling Podcast, of course. On the old Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. At Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram. Check out my Substack. Enter my free UFC Pick'em contest, and you can check out my articles at moneymma.substack.com. Gumby has a podcast. Another podcast is called Top Turtle. He has interesting people on it usually. Who are the interesting people this week?
So we got UFC in Vancouver this weekend. So I got a couple of fighters who are Canadians. I got Melissa Croden about to make her UFC debut. And then also I got Ayman Zahabi, who is always a fan favorite. And we had a pretty good time talking about his Jose Aldo fight.
He's favored too in his fight, which is interesting.
I know. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is. More on that in 2 days, I guess would be, or Wednesday. Yeah. That sounds Top Turtle. And of course, we are at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. So you can get some bonus content from the bosses and the rest of the people on the network. All right. We shall be back, as I said, tomorrow. El Pistorello, Jeff Fox, Killer of Vreeland. We'll talk to you then.